heavyweight championship of all time.
4 a.m. in Kinshasa. Under the lights in Zaire. The world finally witnessed the collision everyone had been waiting for. Rumble in the jungle, the aging legend against the undefeated destroyer. As the opening bell rang, most people expected one thing: George Foreman marching forward, and Muhammad Ali desperately trying to survive. But almost immediately, Ali shocked everyone. Instead of retreating, Ali attacked. Fast jabs, sharp right hands, quick combinations directly into Foreman's face. For brief moments, the old Ali seemed to reappear. The speed, the confidence, the movement. Every clean punch from Ali sent waves through the stadium. Because nobody expected the challenger to stand directly in front of the heavyweight champion. But Ali wasn't only fighting physically. He was fighting psychologically during clinches. He constantly spoke to Foreman, taunting him, provoking him, trying to drag the younger champion into frustration. Some reports later claimed Ali whispered things like, "That all you got, George?" Whether every quote was real or not, the effect was obvious. Foreman kept throwing harder and harder. Then slowly, Ali began moving toward the ropes. At first it seemed accidental, a temporary position. But the longer the rounds continued, the clearer it became. This was intentional. Foreman unloaded brutal punches to the body. Hooks, uppercuts, heavy shots against the arms and ribs. Each punch sounded dangerous, and to many watching, it looked like Ali was making a terrible mistake. But Ali remained calm, blocking shots, rolling with punches, leaning backward against the ropes, occasionally exploding with sudden combinations, before covering up again. It was unlike anything heavyweight boxing had ever seen. Meanwhile, Foreman kept attacking, relentlessly, violently. But every missed punch, every blocked shot, every failed attempt to finish Ali was draining energy from the champion, and Muhammad Ali knew it. The trap was beginning to close. But there was still one terrifying question left unanswered. How much punishment could Ali survive before George Foreman finally broke through? As the fight moved into the middle rounds, the atmosphere inside the stadium began to change. At first, the crowd had expected a quick knockout. Then they expected Ali to eventually collapse under Foreman's power. But now, something strange was happening. George Foreman was slowing down, round after round. Foreman continued throwing enormous punches, hooks to the body, wide shots to the head, violent combinations meant to end the fight instantly. And still, Ali refused to fall, pinned against the ropes. Ali absorbed punishment in a way that looked almost impossible. But he wasn't simply standing there helplessly. He was surviving intelligently, rolling with punches, blocking shots with his arms, leaning backward to reduce impact. Every movement had a purpose. Every second mattered. The ropes themselves became part of Ali's strategy. By leaning backward, he reduced the full force of many punches. And while Foreman kept throwing with bad intentions, Ali forced him to work harder and harder for every moment of control. It was exhausting, especially in the brutal African heat. Foreman had built his career destroying opponents early. Most fighters broke mentally before he even became tired. But Ali refused to give him that satisfaction. Instead, he talked, constantly. During clinches, Ali mocked him, teased him, taunted him, trying to convince Foreman that the punishment wasn't working, that the monster feared by the boxing world was slowly running out of answers. And little by little, Foreman's punches began losing speed. The combinations became wider, sloppier, less precise. For the first time in years, George Foreman looked human. Then Ali would strike back. Short bursts of lightning-fast combinations. Sharp right hands snapping Foreman's head backward. Quick reminders that despite the punishment, Ali was still thinking clearly, still waiting, still dangerous. The crowd sensed it too. Every round that Ali survived, the energy inside the stadium grew louder, Chant rolled through the night like thunder. And suddenly, the impossible no longer seemed impossible. Back in his corner, Foreman looked exhausted, sweat pouring down his face, chest heaving between rounds. He had thrown everything at Muhammad Ali, and Ali was still standing. Years later, the strategy would become legendary, the rope-a-dope, one of the most famous tactics in sports history. But in that moment, nobody truly knew it would succeed, because Ali was still taking enormous punishment. And against a puncher like George Foreman, one clean shot could still end everything instantly. But now, for the very first time in the fight, Muhammad Ali could see it. George Foreman was fading, and the moment Ali had been waiting for was finally beginning to arrive. By the 8th round, the impossible was happening. George Foreman, the most feared puncher in boxing, was exhausted. The champion still marched forward, still dangerous, still capable of ending the fight with a single punch. But the explosive violence from the early rounds was fading. His hands were lower now, his punches slower. And across the ring, Muhammad Ali saw it. For 7 rounds, Ali had endured punishment, waited, calculated, survived. Now, the trap was ready to close. Late in the round, Foreman pushed forward once again, trying to trap Ali near the ropes. But this time, Ali didn't stay there. Suddenly, Ali exploded. A sharp right hand, a quick combination. The punches landed with frightening precision. Fast, clean, unexpected. And for the first time in his professional career, George Foreman fell to the canvas. The stadium erupted, thousands screaming into the African night. Foreman tried to rise, but his body betrayed him. The exhaustion, the punishment, the heat, the endless rounds of pressure. It had all finally caught up to him. And then it was over. Muhammad Ali had reclaimed the heavyweight championship of the world. The underdog had survived. The exile had returned. And the man the world believed was too old, too slow, and too damaged had defeated the most terrifying fighter on earth. In the center of the ring, under the lights of Zaire, Muhammad Ali stood victorious once again, not through brute force, not through youth, but through intelligence, willpower, and absolute belief in himself. That night, Muhammad Ali didn't just win a boxing match. He created a legend that would live forever. When the fight ended in Zaire, the world stood in disbelief. Muhammad Ali had done what almost nobody believed was possible. He defeated George Foreman, the most feared heavyweight on earth, just months earlier. Many experts believed Ali was finished. Some even feared Foreman might seriously hurt him. Instead, Ali produced one of the greatest performances in sports history, not by overpowering the younger champion, but by outthinking him. Years later, the strategy would become legendary. The rope-a-dope, a tactic studied by fighters, analysts, and historians for decades. But in that moment, it was more than strategy. It was trust. Trust in experience, trust in endurance, trust in the belief that intelligence could overcome raw destruction. And perhaps that's why the fight still matters today. Because it wasn't simply about boxing. It was about survival, reinvention, and proving the world wrong when almost nobody believed anymore. Ali had lost years of his career to exile, lost speed, lost pieces of himself in brutal wars inside the ring. But in Africa, he proved something even greater than physical greatness. He proved that champions evolve. The young Ali had dazzled the world with movement and reflexes. But the older Ali, the one who stood against George Foreman, one with heart, patience, and one of the boldest gambles ever attempted inside a boxing ring. That night in Kinshasa, under the lights of Zaire, Muhammad Ali reclaimed the heavyweight championship. But more importantly, he became immortal. And decades later, when people speak about the greatest moments in boxing history, they still return to that night. The night an aging underdog walked into Africa, stood across from a monster, and shocked the world. Because on October 30th, 1974, Muhammad Ali didn't just defeat George Foreman, he defeated doubt itself.